Guys, T-Fit here with Fit Bully TV. Let's talk a little bit about our waiting list. For one, I want to thank everybody who took an extra step, went to our Instagram at Fit Bully Kennels, submitted an application, or really just put your name down and kind of chose where you think you might want to land over the next 3 to 4 years even. That being said, we posted a video, and I think we got to do one this weekend where we really break down what we're looking for in Nala and Ego and why we made the adjustment. It's been brought to the fore. It's now on the, like you said, batter up, on deck. Nala and Ego is going to happen. Now, people say, hey, I thought you said you were never going to do that breeding. You're right, I wasn't. Because I don't need a bunch of Egos, but I do need better dogs. And let me be very clear in saying this. The dog who has the most composure, the dog who's the best well-rounded that we have at this moment in time, it is Ego. And most of the time, it's funny because his confidence can scare people that are unfamiliar with who he is as a dog. Jamarcus can attest to that. First time you get him out, you get real nervous and you're unsure. He's got a look in his eye that's a little frightening to someone who's not used to dogs like Ego. And I even saw someone say on my Instagram when I posted the video of him laying in the bed, like, bro, he looks scary in my eyes. I don't sweat. He knows we have a good understanding. So like we understand each other. Point is this, being the person who's interested in bettering the dogs, you said to yourself, we can't do this breeding. So, Jamarcus, if you had to put your 2 cents in about the things you saw in Bam Bam by way of Baloo, what are some things you've seen in Bam Bam that concern you if you were on the other side getting a dog for the first time and not knowing what you were getting, but now that you do know, what were some things you'd be concerned with if you were getting a dog from Bam Bam?
Lack of drive, somewhat lazy. You can see it, and I even see it in Tut at times too. And he kind of picks and chooses when he kind of wants to do stuff. His left foot too. On top of that, outside of that, structurally speaking, looks like a great dog, but there's just a lot. He just doesn't want to do much. He'll get on there on the rope for a minute, and then he'll be all right, I'm good. And then you see Cha Cha on the other hand, how she's just boom, amped up. So, but the 2 things that stuck out to me is just his lack of drive, based off what we're trying to accomplish, to be clear.
Yeah.
Lack of drive.
But he's also a little fearful too.
That too.
He barks every time he come out the cage at somebody, and by now we've been with Cat and Jamal for the past 3 weeks, and he comes around the corner, he's still barking at the kid, he's barking at the window, he barked at the bed that's up there. It's a bed in the garage right now. He walked in there and started barking at it. I'm like, my man, what are you doing, dude? All those insecurities, I cannot breed insecurities, people. And Cha Cha, she can work through her insecurities. Mm-hmm. Even so much so that I'm not even afraid of her being left with, people or to a degree other dogs. I believe she will respond to a dog, but I haven't seen her really react. She gets in her corner and she lets you know, leave me alone. And most of the time, them dogs will leave her alone. And whatever you do, don't bother when she's eating. But you say, hey, how did you come to the conclusion to pull the trigger with Nala and Ego? Here's the thing. Ego, dad has Easty Westy. Nala's mom, Easty Westy. So you say, hey, we don't want to double up on Easty Westy, but I believe based on her conditions, that's what created Easty Westy, meaning Maya. So Nala, I haven't seen any Easty Westy in her. And mind you, it can skip a generation. But at the same time, if the feet aren't super crazy, looking like 2 seals, there's a way to straighten the pastures enough to keep the feet relatively tight. And we get a whole year, mind you, a whole year. Junior was born in January. Nala's breeding probably won't even be till mid next year sometime, whenever she comes in heat, after 2024. In 2024, that's when we'll do a breeding. So we get technically a whole year to watch Junior grow up. And at that year mark, believe me, once you get to 6, 7, and 8 or 9 months, and right now, guess what? He's already 6 months old. So in the next 90 days, so much is going to change with Junior. And by the time it gets a year, we'll get a good idea of what we're up against and what, kind of like how the puppies fared, even coming from Ego. And Ego, guess what? He went to Maya. And both of them are Easty Westy. And for the most part, I've seen pictures and videos of the other dogs right now. Even the female, that's the biggest one of them all. She don't even look like she came from the same litter. She's so doggone big. Feet are good. Feet are good, so Is it the worst thing in the world? No. Eagle's athletic to a degree. Nala's 2 times athletic. She's 2 times the athlete Eagle is, to be clear. Eagle's got 2 times the drive and focus. And when I say drive, Nala's super driven, but she don't know what direction to go just yet. So her brain, it thinks like, she'll be super driven in the way that I like them to be at about 3. 3 years old is when her like focus will get to where it needs to be. Jamal down there, he's either playing the game and losing or playing the game and winning. Both sounds the same, just so we're clear. So take a look here, people, because we got a phone call today. I was in the car, and it took all of Jamarcus not to bust out laughing. I don't even know. Some people saved my number from before, and he says, "Hey, man," I said, "Hello?" It's 813, one of you Florida people. And he says, "Man, how I get one of them dogs? I just seen the post." I said, "Well, we have a waiting list of," go ahead and show them, 1,365 people. Can they see that?
Mm-hmm.
So, 1,300 people on that waiting list. He said, "How I sign up?" He said, I shouldn't even be asking about the price with 1,300 folks on there." That's not an exaggeration, people. Jamarcus streamlined the process for all the people who are window shoppers, and even this person who saved my number moons ago. I remember the voice. I don't remember what he was calling for, but they were on the fence, and that's why I said, you know, people turn into window shoppers when the dogs come. Well, man, I really want one from, could have been any breeding, if I'm being honest. I just don't know. And guess what? Here we are again with another, and he calling again. Some of y'all, it's nothing for us to talk about, because now I'm gonna call you, and we are gonna have a conversation starting from start to finish. There's a young lady who messaged me and said, "Hey, I know that I signed up," and she sent her deposit. Mind you, I only take 4 deposits. She sent her deposit on Bam Bam and Nala, and she said, "I saw that not happening. How does that work for me?" Transfers over. You get the first pick boy, regardless of color, because that's what we agreed to. If she messaged me a year from now and saw that breeding change, she would get the first pick boy, as long as she's interested, from Ego and Nala, without a question. I could care less about all the stuff that people get hyped up about. I want the dogs to go to good people, and she's a college student who will be graduating college next year, and said, "I love what you're doing. I've always wanted a dog. I would appreciate if I could be considered," something like that. And I said, "Hey, well, you know, right now people are on the fence. I take 4 deposits. You send a deposit, it'll guarantee. All you got to tell them is what you're looking for." She went down and found Nala. Nala was not on my page a lot. She says, "I found her. I like Nala a lot. I'd love a puppy out for her." And you said she's going to Bam Bam. I said, "Yeah." She says, "Okay, that's the one I want. Send me her money." College student. I'm more appreciative of that than talking to any of you people who are caught up in pride, ego, and who the dogs are. I need one of them dogs. She never said I needed a dog. She said I would appreciate a good dog that's healthy, and I love what you're doing over there. And believe me, being a young lady in today's times, it might be good to have a dog you believe could keep you safe if she walked down that road. And I believe, even myself, I always feel a little better when he goes with me. And I don't even be worried about nobody coming up. But when he goes around, I wouldn't if I was you. And he ain't gonna say nothing. He ain't gonna whisper. He ain't gonna bark. He's just gonna look at you and be like, "Oh, I think that's the wrong car, buddy. That is that is not the place to do it. Tron's too nice." Eagle's not that nice. He's not that nice, and I love it. And his mama, I was watching an old video of Zara doing some work, and I was like, she's a psychopath. All of her hair was sticking up. I need a dog to be that angry again. When Stan kicked that whip, she just loses it. I love it. But I had to balance her out, which is how you get a good balanced dog like Ego. So if you're interested in getting a pup from us, you need to go to Fit Bully Kennels IG, sign up. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to get a dog. What I will tell you is that for maybe every 10 people, 1 person might buy a dog. So the odds might be in your favor, because people going to fall off. And then eventually we'll use this as a mailing list, and I'll mail out, "Hey guys, this is where you're at. This is what we're doing. Be ready, because you could be on the reserve. And if someone falls through or doesn't have their funds, then we'll move on." But we're not going to do a lot of producing of dogs. There'll be 3 to 4 litters next year. Right now, for sure, if everything goes right. Ego, Nala, Ego and Amira. And then there'll be, we might pull Lola out. Could be a Lola breeding somewhere next year. And I don't think that's anymore. Cha-Cha's not getting bred. Yeah. Next year is Ego in Amira's year. I mean, Nala and Amira's year. That's their year to breed. And then we spend the year learning from their dogs and seeing what we like and what we don't like, and potentially running them again the next year or the year after that, because we're in no rush. But I need to know that the dogs are going to pan out. So 1,300 doesn't mean anything to me, because I'm more interested in good people. What we did is create a process for you to follow, and I do hope it works out for you. I'd be, you'd be blessed to get a fit bully, and I'm saying that because I'm blessed to have a few fit bullies myself. And yeah, I produced them, but I did it under the pretense that I wanted better dogs. And to do so, you have to breed better dogs. So we've got to stick to our program. So stay tuned, guys. Take care of your dog. Remember, if you are breeding, don't rush the process. Spend time with your dog, love your dog, and we'll talk soon.